Howdy ho, everybody. I am Donut, and I'm here with my fiance.
They're right.
I've seen South Park episode 20-something.
I'm watching it blinds.
This is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, all cops are bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. And if you're not supporting that, then you can get the fuck off this channel. This is the final episode of Season 8, Woodland Critter Christmas. Now, before you give your prediction, I'm going to say, this is the finale, start of next season. We are going to watch the episode. Episode's not going up on YouTube. It's not going up on Patreon. We're skipping it.
Okay.
We're going to watch it, so we have the context of it, but we are just skipping right over it.
Okay.
I will wait to give the episode title at the end, because this is a good episode. This episode was tied with Good Times with Weapons
really?
as the full length one, which for free.
Wow.
Which surprised the hell out of me. I had to use my own vote and your vote to push over. I used your own vote.
I want to recount.
No, too bad. I took your vote from you and I used it.
This is actually voter fraud.
No, I don't care. It's how it happens. I wanted them to see Good Times with Weapons.
Mr. Trump, you gotta stop this.
You can't stop me. This is my channel. So, predictions for this episode.
Woodland Critter Christmas. We haven't had a lot of woodland critter / animal stuff in this season, or honestly probably last season as well. I remember early in South Park we used to have more these kids live in a rural town, so we're gonna focus more on just animals and it was half just wild animals, half cows and stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot more wildlife in early South Park.
So I think that may be a return to that. I'm going to call it as a no kids episode. I think it is going to be it is South Park and it's about the animals, and if the kids appear they'll be in the background, but they're not going to have a focus.
Okay. So
we're just going to focus on some critters and maybe Mr. Hanky. I could definitely see that happening. We could get an animal poop Mr. Hanky. But yeah, I think that's what we're going for. It's going to be an all animal episode.
Okay. If you want to see the full length, this one, check it out on Patreon for $4 a month. You're paying for this one, bitch. All right. What would you rate this episode?
Oh boy. Because I did really enjoy it, but at the same time, it definitely dragged. I could feel the crunch. 6 out of 10.
All right. I think I'll give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm surprised I didn't give it a 3 out of 10. This is an episode, again, that this is, as a kid, I think my least favorite episode of South Park. When it came on, I went, oh no! I hated it so much. And I think that is because, as a kid, I was I hate this episode because it's just with these creatures instead of the kids, and I just want to see with the characters I like. I think that's why I didn't like it as a kid. Now I think it's just I just don't think it's a very good episode.
Yeah.
It is the most of all the episodes in South Park. I think it is the episode that is the most funny the first time you watch it, and then every subsequent rewatch it just is it's all shock value.
Yeah, the novelty is definitely a big factor of why I got a 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot more this time because I got to watch it with you, reacting to it the first time. If I had to watch this by myself, I probably would have hated it. Okay. But watching it with you, I once again got to laugh again at the jokes because I was thinking about putting myself in the shoes of watching for the first time again. But yeah, overall, it is it's the most phoned in episode. I was shocked that this one tied for first place.
Okay.
That was the biggest shock to me in the world. I had no idea that people loved this episode or anything.
Yeah, if anyone really loves it, I would be very interested to hear why. Is it just because of that initial feeling, or is there something more there?
Yeah, I think it has a lot of great contrasting visuals, or just funny stuff with the animals doing stuff. But
I love seeing the animals.
Yeah,
South Park is good at doing cute animals.
Yeah, they are.
We just rarely ever see it.
But yeah, there's a lot of great juxtaposition of the vulgarness in the animals and cuteness and everything. But I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. But I'm also the kind of person who hates Christmas stuff in general. Sure. Usually, I hate Christmas specials. Normally, I hate those. As I've said when we first got into these, almost all the Christmas specials are like so low in the episodes that I like. Right. I just do not like Christmas related stuff. Okay. I don't know why. It just puts me in this like mood. Whereas almost every other holiday I'm into it, like the tonality of it. But
and I'd say this for me, the South Park Christmas specials are all pretty darn good.
Yeah, like I'm very glad about that.
Yeah, like Red Sleigh Down is bad, and Mr. Hanky is bad, and oh no,
oh no.
I remember liking the South Park Christmas specials.
We had Charlie Manson's Christmas special was good.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was other ones. It's hard to remember them because a lot of the good ones are not like super Christmas focused.
Yeah,
they're lightly Christmas focused.
Like they are a mix. Whereas this is, I'd say, like it goes super hard into being a Christmas special pastiche.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll leave the floor to you. Talk about the episode some more. Anything you want to say?
It's a really interesting structure, having it be almost entirely a Stan episode, but not really a Stan episode. It's like No, I'd say it's a Stan episode.
It is a Stan episode. It's just from the perspective of Cartman.
Yeah.
From
the perspective of Cartman's out of universe, or out of story, and in story from the perspective of the animals.
Yeah. Or from the narrator.
Yeah.
Who is just Cartman, but... And it's like, is that written into the story of Stan not wanting to do it?
How does that work? It has to be, right?
It has to be.
Like, Cartman had to have written, the narrator, said this, and then Stan did not do it, and then I said it again.
Yeah.
That sounds like it'd be awful to listen to.
But yeah, I think more than anything, this episode is just like, it is funny. Like, it is not an episode that isn't funny. There's a lot of good jokes in it.
Yeah.
I just think it drags too much. You know, I think that's a problem with it.
Yeah, I think
I don't know. It's hard. I can't really verbalize why I really do. Like, I've given plenty of excuses, but when I've said them, I don't feel it in my heart that is the true reason. I can't really verbalize. There's just something about the episode that.
Whereas for me, like, I feel like if it was a little tighter, like, if they had some extra time, or, like, if they had some extra energy, some extra jokes, some extra comedy, they could tighten it up into an easy 8 out of 10.
I think what I'm saying is, no matter what they did to the episode, it would not get above 5 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Like, just, like, this kind of episode, like, Community's, I love Community. All of Community's holiday episodes, I really don't like either. Right. I just don't like holiday episodes, and this one is the most holiday to me, and the most, like, doing a, Christmas movie, like, just kind of, even if it is like a twisted, warped view on it, it is still just kind of doing it. And I think that is what it is. No matter, as you said, no matter what they could do, they could not get it above 5 out of 10 for me.
Okay,
it's not going to happen with a holiday episode.
Fair.
I'm sure I've rated some other holiday episodes later, but I mean more specifically this one. Anyway, continue. Whatever you want to else say about the episode.
Like, a big part of it is also like being able to reframe all of it, because if we didn't have the framing of, first of all, it is from Cartman's point of view, and second of all, like, Stan does fight the narrator, like, in the second half more than the first half. I would definitely not like the first half as much, because Stan is super out of character for a bunch of it.
Yeah,
but knowing that A, it's not really Stan, and B, he is, like, going along with it until he's like, wait, I don't have to go along with it.
Yeah,
like, it does elevate it for me.
Yeah, I think that part of it is the only part that I like and would like to have probably seen in a non-holiday episode.
Sure.
Because I like the idea of, like, the narrator. Like, I say that even though I'm not really a fan of the Stanley Parable game or anything like that. But, like, I think that's a fun concept. But even that, I guess. What am I talking about? Even that, I'm not really a fan of. So I'm just gonna give you the whole floor for this one. I'm just gonna
because I like the Stanley Parable. I thought your gag about the Stan Parable, that was a perfect line. Very good react.
Thank you. Zip back up.
I mean, what is there to say apart from the visual? This is another, like, the visuals are really, really strong, but the actual content isn't that strong.
Yeah.
Like, I like it. I like the satanic woodland critters. I think whenever South Park does abortions, it's not super funny. Like, no. I think they... Like, it's definitely a of the time thing. Like, just mentioning abortions is inherently, like, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Whereas now that's worn off a bit, especially for me. And so it is less of a, like, that is the gag word that makes the funny happen.
Yeah, I would say when I think of South Park, one of the number one things that comes to mind is abortion.
Yeah.
I will say, when we get to the video games, that's a big part of the video games, too. Like, it's just, that's the go-to.
And I don't dislike it. It is just, like, I think right now they're relying too much on it as the comedy button.
Yeah.
In the same way that, like, right now on Twitter, people like the word pog a lot. But I don't find the word pog inherently funny. But I do think being poggers is very funny.
I also think, more so than abortion, they also just find intestines and, like inside of something. I was thinking also, like, Lemmy-Winks. Like, abortions and Lemmy-Winks feels like the same sort of thing to me. Like, they're just obsessed with things being inside of people. Like, big things being inside of people. I think they find the concept of a baby inside of somebody funny. Now that you put it that way. But
yeah, like, it's not really super funny to me. Same with, like, gore in general in South Park. Like, it can be.
Did you ever watch Happy Tree Friends?
Yeah.
Well, were you, like, into Happy Tree Friends?
Honestly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that is also a thing. Like, I was not into Happy Tree Friends. I watched multiple DVDs of Happy Tree Friends for some reason, so I was not really into it. It was more that I would watch it with my friends.
Ah, fair.
It was, yeah.
But yeah, and, like, there are layers to it. Like, I like Happy Tree Friends. I still, like, you know, it's worn off, but I still, like, generally will watch an episode and be like, yeah, it's a good one. Whereas South Park's gore doesn't really get me very much. It usually is just, like, in context, it's good.
Yeah.
But as, like, just a visual, they usually don't make it very funny.
Yeah.
It's usually just, you know, it's there.
I mean, even if you want to go down to the most base level of stuff like, the Cat and the Mouse with Tom and Jerry,
Right.
like that sort of stuff, you know? Never found that. But, like, the sort of old style cartoons of animals doing something out of animalness. I never latched onto that. Was never really able to. I always hate saying I never found that funny. I feel like such an asshole when I say that, but yeah, that was not in my comedic wheelhouse.
That's fine. And I'd much rather you say that than just saying it's not funny.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like, I definitely latched onto that kind of thing.
The fact that people rated it, like, everybody voted for this, it tied with Good Times with Weapons, which is, I think of as the South Park episode, was wild to me. And, like, I mean, those shows are, Looney Tunes is huge. You know, people love anthropomorphic animals doing stuff that animals don't normally do. But, yeah, I don't know, it's just not in my wheelhouse. It doesn't hit that funny bone for me.
Like, I can't explain why, but seeing Stan have to confront, you know, these baby cubs, you know, crying over their dead mother did tickle my funny bone. It is such a strong, like, it's specifically because the cubs were, you know, so animated and so, like, human about the way they were grieving.
Yeah.
It hit me right in the, this is so over the top and awful thing to feel.
I think also what gets me is that I don't think I would laugh harder at any of the jokes in this episode if it was just younger kids than Stan instead of animals.
Okay.
Like, I think that is the thing. Like, a lot of the comedy comes with the fact that they're animals and they're really cutesy for a lot of people, whereas for me, the jokes are just funny by themselves, and it doesn't really matter the fact that they're animals.
Yeah, whereas if these were kids, it would rank so much lower to me.
Yeah. So I think that, I laughed at a lot of the jokes, but yeah, I would still laugh at them if they were a kid. I think the jokes are just, humorous on their own. Yeah. But I don't get that extra factor.
Right. More animals in South Park, please.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to say before I look into some notes?
I
always say that like you're not going to say more things as we're going through the notes.
Of course. When they bring up, like, Christian stuff or satanic stuff in South Park in general, like, when it's not God and Satan and Jesus, it always strikes me as being really weird, because it is like I know what Satan's like. Is this part of his plan? Would he have sex with a chipmunk or with a hedgehog?
A porcupine.
Porcupine. Like, I don't think he would. He's too big.
Yeah. I debate, bringing this up a lot of times when it's something like this, but I will because it's so long. So, this is the last episode of the series to have a Christmas theme for a decade.
Really?
Uh-huh.
It's such a staple of South Park.
Yeah. It's the last one.
For like a decade, for like 10 seasons.
For,
at least. Yeah.
Or 10 years.
10 years, right.
I assume there's a season every year. I'm pretty sure there is, but I don't want to say that.
Sure. But okay, wow.
Yeah, so, what do you think about this being the last Christmas episode?
For being I can definitely see this as a, should we do a Christmas episode this year? Looks at the last one. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I like it well enough. I wish if they'd that they'd gone out with a higher one, but I can understand why they would leave it at that for a while.
Well, I mean, this one did get voted to be,
Yeah.
we didn't like it that much. I mean, like, you liked it more than I did.
Yeah.
But, like, people really liked this episode, so
Yeah.
they did kind of go on a high note, I guess.
Hmm?
I mean, according to the audience. But, yeah, I don't know. It feels weird to me, As you said, it's a staple of South Park. It's something where I see that and I go, wait, that can't be true. But it's like, nah, it is. It is.
I feel a horrible stone in my heart saying that this is not the end of Mr. Hanky for 10 years, which is what I would want. Oh,
Whistle,
boy.
whistle, whistle.
That would be a fair trade-off. But if we're going to be getting Mr. Hanky without Christmas episodes...
It's Mr. Hanky, the normal poo.
Oh, no! Say it ain't so. I don't want to go.
This is not the once-a-year holiday poo. This is now normal consecutive poos.
Oh, no. Replacing... he's going to be in the main cast, finally! Like they always wanted. By the way, of course, if you are looking for an abortion, you can... if you are looking for an abortion, and if you're in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this before.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
Mm. And you are in a state that puts, negative restrictions on your ability to get an abortion. Whether it is you have to, watch a video, or someone has to tell you that you are wrong, or they have to make you listen to the ultrasound's heartbeats. If you invoke the satanic ritual... the satanic abortion ritual, you can skip all of that by saying that, no, it is within my religious rights to not do that. It is a service, or it is an argument put forth by the Church of Satan that is pretty dope. They're putting out billboards and stuff trying to, get people to be aware of it. It's never gone to court yet, but, they're trying. And it seems like it should work. It is a religious exemption.
Yeah.
And a lot of the laws put into place to stop you from being able to have an abortion or to make it more difficult are also based on religious exemptions. Mm-hmm. So you have a pretty good case, at the very least, of saying, hey, do you want this to be a big deal?
Yeah. Yeah. Glad you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
We brought it up before, but continue to bring it up. But yeah, as we already talked about this episode being very, clearly, they didn't have a whole lot of ideas for this episode. It was kind of just parodying other stuff. Because that is what they just spent too long coming up with an idea and they're like, okay, we just gotta do a parody now.
Right.
Which has not happened before. Every other time it's been, hey, let's do a parody.
Right.
Whereas this time was they backed themselves into we have to do a parody now.
Which, to be fair, this feels a little forced, but if you'd given me this episode and the Lemmiwinks episode, and you said one of these was one where they ran out of time and they were forced to do it, I would have said Lemmiwinks.
Yeah. The other ones might be we don't have an idea, okay, well, let's go with this one. But this one was the one where they were pushed up to to Thursday, same sort of time with Awesomeo,
Right.
the shortest episode ever. And they were like, okay, that's not going to happen again. Even though that was a really great episode, they were like, no, we don't want to, have this happen again. Let's just do a parody.
That's surprising, because also, the Line Cubs especially moved really nicely.
Yeah.
I think some of the other...
They did say this was one of the hardest episodes to animate.
I can imagine so. Because, not all the animals move in an animal-y way, which, fair enough.
Yeah.
But, especially with Line Cubs, the way they move around is so... I loved it.
A lot of new assets as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of work on the once again, always all the work put on the animators and the artists. And again, very light on Matt and Trey this episode. They, did a parody that's not really having to write much, and then they barely voice acted anybody, they voice acted most of the animals, sure, but then you also had, the people coming in to voice, lion cubs and the younger ones and everything, so, yeah, all in all, they had it very easy this episode. That is a good point. Eric says, he's the narrator, so, that the Porcupine was a virgin and that it was immaculately conceived, and then later in the episode, yes, Satan did have sex with Porcupine.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I buy into the swerve there of, we didn't say that this wasn't Satan.
Yeah.
I feel like they lied a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Raccoony was never introduced, actually. They introduced out of the 12 animals. They only introduced 11 of them.
That is wild.
So weird. That's a real okay. We don't have a voice for this guy. So I hope nobody notices. I didn't notice. All right, so we will see you guys not for the next episode, but for the episode after that, the second episode
Okay.
of the season, which is Die Hippie Die. But
Okay.
the one that we will be watching off camera is Mr. Garrison's Fancy New Vagina.
Ah, you know, I can guess why you wanted to. Yeah, okay. Yeah,
I don't think many people are going to care, honestly. It's not a very popular episode, so let's do that.
All right.